Today, we are going to talk about why I said the RS4 is slow and why that shouldn't matter to you. If you haven't already checked it out, this car has right now 193,707 miles. We bought it sight unseen off of Cars and Bids with 192,000 miles on it. I will link the card up in the top corner. This car is not fast by any means, but when I said that the RS4 is slow, I either bothered people or they laughed because they'd agreed. I don't know how else to say it. The RS4 is not a fast car. It is not the slowest car on the road, but this car is not by any means fast. Let me tell you why that doesn't matter at all. I see a lot of people in Facebook groups talking about 0 to 60 times, quarter mile times, and even I sometimes get caught up in the quarter mile time stuff. But I think we've gotten, and car manufacturers too, have gotten so caught up in this chase, in this race to have the fastest car, that we've forgotten that most of the time that we spend driving the car is not spent at full throttle. And what do I mean by that? Literally exactly what it sounds like. When you drive the car, think of how often you go full throttle. Now, some of us more often than others, but no one is driving the car at 100% throttle all the time. Even if you're on the racetrack, you have to brake and turn. A lot of people get so caught up in the 0 to 60 stuff that they don't seem to be willing to look at any other metrics. For example, let's talk about this. Let's actually do a Google search, because I should have researched this before. 2007 Audi RS4 0 to 60 time. 4.6 seconds, 0 to 60. 2021 Toyota Camry, 5.1 seconds. Between this car and the V6 Toyota Camry, there's 0.5 of a second difference in hitting 60 miles an hour. Which, if you're racing, especially to 60 miles an hour from a stoplight, like, you would be surprised how well that Camry keeps up with you. But what people are missing is the drama in between that acceleration and while you're driving the car around and stuff like that. Because if you're buying a car purely by the acceleration metrics and the horsepower numbers and the torque numbers, then sure, you may end up with something that's very fast. But if you don't take into account anything else in that search, you're going to end up with a car that's pretty much a one-trick pony. I mean, look at the Tesla Plaid. People have decided that the Tesla Plaid is like a dream car, and you ask them why, and it's like, because they can destroy everything else on the street. Where is the emotion in a Tesla Plaid? I mean, the emotion is you're like, I just won that race. But like the RS4 with the 4.2 liter V8 that revs to 8250 with a 6-speed manual, there's so much more drama and passion in this car than there is in a car like the Tesla Plaid. And sure, the Tesla Plaid is faster, but speed is not everything. And that's the point that I want to get to with this video. Because I see a lot of people benchmarking cars, especially in the comments of like these videos, saying, oh, 0 to 60 on this is faster, oh, 0 to 60 on that is faster, oh, the new, I don't know, so-and-so does 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. Who cares? Speed is fun, don't get me wrong. That's why I have a tuned S6 over there that goes 11.0 in the quarter and is going to go faster soon. But if you don't take into account the rest of the package, you're going to end up with stuff like the Tesla Plaid, which has zero motion. All it does is go fast really well. And that's something that's kind of bothering me about modern car makers, is that modern car makers have gotten so good isolating the driver, and they're all fast. There's no real slow modern cars anymore. The problem with that is that our technology has gotten so good that even like regular normal people cars now have, you know, noise isolation. They have ways to keep you away from the outside world. And the steering is not as direct, and you know, there's all sorts of stuff that is just missing. And so when we get into these numbers and like just purely benchmark cars off of the 0 to 60 time, quarter mile time, 60 to 0 time, stuff like that, we start to lose what makes cars like this RS4 so great. And that is not the 0 to 60, but like I said, it's what happens between the 0 to 60. It's what happens when you're, you know, rolling around a neighborhood and you can fire off a third to second downshift, rap kind of deal. It's what happens when you're cruising on a back road and you can feel the car kind of playing with you, wiggling around a little bit. There's a magic in cars that so often gets overlooked when we start to purely go by the numbers. And I hope that me saying that makes sense. Like, I think what I want people to do as a whole is to take a step back from the numbers. And Tom, my friend Tom Tedward, gets these comments all the time. Well, why would you spend millions of dollars on that old Ferrari when you could get a new Toyota Camry that's faster? Why would you buy this Aston Martin V8 Vantage when you could buy an RS3 that's way faster? The answer is because the comparison between those cars, if you look at it purely on numbers, is won by the less expensive, kind of more normal car. But when you look at the rest of the car, you look at the full package, would you choose a V8? Would you choose an RS3 over a V8 Vantage? Because I sure wouldn't. When they designed this car, they said, what is going to make this car feel special? It's 8,250 RPMs out of a V8 singing through some pipes with a 6-speed manual transmission. And by modern car maker standards, that is not the way to do it, because the automatic transmission is faster than the manual, and who cares if it's high revving? If we put a turbocharger on it, it'll make more power. And then, you know, whatever about the exhaust sound, the car doesn't sound too good, so let's pipe in some fake exhaust noise that makes it sound good. All of that really takes away from the overall experience of the car. And all of this is me coming to say, the next time you think of a car in your mind, and, you know, be it an old Ferrari, I don't know, a 2000s Mustang, a 69 Camaro, something like that, and you say, man, like, why isn't that faster? Just remind yourself that that number that you're thinking of isn't everything, and that the driving experience, especially in these older cars, is something that we're slowly starting to lose as cars get modernized. Don't get so lost in the numbers that we lose what makes these cars special in the first place. And I'm worried that that's what we're headed towards now, especially with electric cars that literally have zero soul in them. Like, sure, the numbers can be great, but we don't want to lose what drew us to these cars in the first place. That's not, I mean, maybe it was, you know, benchmarking 0 to 60 times, stuff like that. But once you started driving, what drew you to a car is not purely the 0 to 60. It's about the car, the way the car makes you feel. And the more numb our cars get, the less feeling you're going to get out of them. So just a reminder that 0 to 60 is not the most important number out there. And I hope this all makes sense. I hope you guys feel the same way. And if you don't, feel free to drop a comment below, or, you know, expand on my thoughts below. But that's all I got for you guys today. I was just feeling inspired and just fired this off from the hip. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed these videos. I love just kind of talking. I used to do this a lot in my Mark V. We would just cruise around the roads of Saratoga and talk. And I think I've gotten away from that in the install videos and stuff like that. And you know, I love, one, making these videos because I get to voice my opinion, which is always a great feeling. But two, I like reading your comments when you guys watch through the video and you're like, nope, like, Eli, you're wrong. Or you're like, I totally agree with that. Here's my example of that. I don't want this to be like, I feel like so much of YouTube right now, and this is me getting like deeper. YouTube is so much like consume and throw away. And I want this to be more consume and have a conversation, and then have 3 people reply to your comment, and they keep coming back to that video, not to watch the video, but to engage with the people in the comments below. That's all I got. So go ahead and go down in the comments. If you're the first one, write one out. And if you're not the first one, write yours, and then go ahead and respond to someone else's. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Go out there and spread some positivity, and I will catch you guys in the next video.